I felt like a failure because it would take me hours to grade one assignment.
Oh, wow. First one. That's definitely AI. Shedding light upon the enduring persistence of no.
Being a teacher is the only job where you gotta find time to do your job while doing your job. And if you caught doing your job while not doing your job, then you might lose your job because your job is about 40 different jobs and you don't have time to do all of those jobs at your job.
The grading system is broken. Teachers explain why. Grading isn't just tiring. For a lot of teachers, it doesn't even feel like it's working anymore. Between confusing policies, student motivation, and now AI, teachers are being pushed to rethink everything. Quick context, this video is sponsored by CoGrader. It's an AI grading assistant that helps teachers give structured feedback, use rubrics, and even flag potential AI written work, while saving teachers a lot of time in the process. As you watch these, think about this. Is grading the problem, or is it how we're doing it?
I don't believe in grades, but I take grading very seriously. Let me explain this contradiction. There's so many things I hate about grades. I hate how they reduce the incredibly complex process of learning to a number or a letter. I hate how they have the ability to absolutely destroy a student's confidence, like forever. I hate how they kill the intrinsic motivation to learn. I hate how they gatekeep and prevent students from doing whatever the hell they want to in the future. And I hate how we all act like there's no reality in which we could get rid of them. Like, this is a relatively new concept. Grades are about 120 years old. I understand that they're deeply embedded in our current structure. They're here to stay, probably for the duration of my career. So, why do I take grading so seriously? I went through a phase where I was really trying to de-emphasize grades. I was trying to tell students their grades didn't matter. I cared more about their learning holistically. I was trying to not really talk about their grades. I was trying to do assignments that weren't graded. I was just really trying to downplay their role in my classroom. And one day I had a realization. A teacher telling students grades don't matter is kind of like an employer telling an employee your paycheck doesn't matter. Unfortunately, grades are the currency in schools. Just like people need to work to survive, many students feel that need as well. They need to get good grades so that they can change their present reality. So I try to imagine if my boss was like, we're not here for the pay. Why do we really do this? Let's think about the intrinsic benefits of this work. So if my students tell me grades are the most important thing to me, which for most of them, that is true, I need to honor that by grading well. I'm talking well-designed tasks, really detailed rubrics, strong feedback, making sure that they feel like the grade they want is within reach, and making sure that the process is really fair and clear.
This is one of the most honest takes. Grades aren't perfect, but grading still matters. It's how schools communicate progress. It's the system students respond to. And when she tried to downplay grades, it didn't work because students still see it as currency. This is where better grading, not less grading, matters. CoGrader helps teachers build clear rubrics, apply them consistently, explains grades through feedback like grow and glow, so it's not just a number, it's something students understand. Let's take a look at some of the comments. Exactly. Realistically, students learn to get grades. Telling them grades don't matter sounds extremely disingenuous. I've experimented with delayed grading, in which I give my students feedback first, comments, conferences, short videos, even highlighted components on rubrics but no numbers. After reflection, they receive their grade. I've seen some positive outcomes for sure, but definitely a learning curve.
Oh, wow. First one. That's definitely AI. Shedding light upon the enduring persistence of, no. I'm gonna run this through GPT-0. No, 0 GPT. One of them's better. Oh, 100%, great. Moving on. This one looks pretty good. Seems like a human wrote it. There it is, delve. We're always delving into everything now. This one has like every word misspelled, but it still seems like it's written by AI. Themes of power, redemption, and survival against all odds. Wait. This one's really bad. So bad AI couldn't have written it. They really tried. Weaving a complex tapestry of tales across generations. Oh my god. I don't even need the AI detector anymore. I am the AI detector. These students are training me. I'm like a large language model. Oh my god, they did not leave the prompt in there. Make this sound like a ninth grader wrote it. This is amateur hour. This one's really gray area. The detector says no, but it's a little sketchy, so I think I'm just gonna spend like the next 2 hours delving into the document history. Did I just say delve? I'm turning into AI for real. Let's enter these grades. 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 83, 0, 0, 0. All right.
This is the new reality. Teachers are asking, did the student even write this? That changes everything. Now grading isn't just evaluation, it's suspicion. CoGrader helps by flagging patterns and giving insight into possible AI use, so teachers aren't left guessing. And honestly, that peace of mind matters. Let's take a look at the comments. You use AI to detect AI? A professor failed every student for use of AI. One of the students ran the professor's college paper through the same AI detector. It came back 100% AI. It was written 30 years ago.
We all know that grading is one of the worst parts about being a teacher. Here are 3 things I do to make it much faster. I use a tray card to separate all my work by class period, what's been graded and is ready to be passed back versus what is not graded yet. That way I can prioritize by class period, which class do I need to grade for next. On paper assignments, I put boxes or lines where I want students to put their final answers. It makes grading twice as fast for me, and it's really easy to catch mistakes. I try to leave a really large workspace for questions so students' work is a little bit neater and it's not too cramped in there. Makes it really easy for me to give them feedback too. And obviously, lots of caffeine. I hope you use these tips to speed up your grading so you have time to do the million other things we need to do as teachers.
Cart, organization, caffeine. These are real strategies, but if you look closely, they're all about coping. They don't reduce the workload, they just help you survive it. CoGrader shifts that. Instead of managing chaos, you reduce it. Faster grading, reusable comments, streamlined workflow. Less survival, more efficiency.
If you're a teacher, what is the one thing that frustrates you the most about your school or county's grading policy? And this is in terms of things that you cannot change, you have to abide by them, and if you could, you would change it. And I'm bringing this up today because I overheard students talking about it, and it is not an uncommon conversation. Our school year is broken up by 4 marking periods. We have marking period 1, 2, 3, and 4. Marking period 1 and marking period 2 make up semester 1, and marking period 3 and 4 make up semester 2. The grade that shows up on the transcript for students is semester 1 and semester 2 grades. So this is how they determine what that grade is. So this is a chart that our county follows. The thing that is most frustrating, and I don't have everything, but if you have an A marking period 1 and then you fail marking period 2, your overall semester grade is a C. So this is what happened. In marking period 1, they'll try and get an A. Marking period 2, they don't do anything, like 0, nothing. And they still finish with a C. And something that really is frustrating is when a student tells you, well, I don't need to do the work because I already passed marking period 1. So kids will play the system, they'll only try one of the marking periods and not the other, or vice versa, and they can still pass.
Sometimes it's not even grading itself. It's the policies, the requirements, the reporting, the systems. Teachers are stuck navigating all of it. When your grading is consistent and documented, it makes those systems easier. CoGrader helps standardize feedback, keep records organized, support your decisions. So you're not constantly justifying everything.
I felt like a failure because it would take me hours to grade one assignment. When I first started teaching, I was a middle school teacher and I had over 230 students at a time. There was just a lot of variation in the work that I was grading and I couldn't figure out how to streamline it. This one small shift saved me hours of grading time a week. Now, other teachers had always told me you don't have to grade everything. But what I had to figure out on my own is that you don't have to grade every part of everything. And I know that that sounds very similar, but there's a little bit of nuance there. Because even if you don't have to grade everything, you do still have to grade some things. So the shift you're gonna make is grading every assignment for both completion and correctness. When you're looking at an assignment, part of that grade will be for completion. If a student put in effort, they get all of those points. Then you're gonna select 2 to 3 questions or 2 to 3 specific skills that you are going to grade for correctness and that you'll provide more in-depth feedback on. What this does is cut down significantly on your grading time while still ensuring that students complete the assignment with fidelity because they don't know upfront what parts are going to be assessed for correctness. Now, we still want students to get feedback on the other parts of the work, so we'll give them an answer key that they can use to self-assess the rest of the work that we didn't grade in depth. Not only does this cut down on grading time for you, but it also gives students feedback more quickly.
This is one of the smartest shifts. Not everything needs detailed grading. Focus on what matters. Give answer keys for the rest. Or you can use Glow and Grow. CoGrader fits perfectly here. You can target key responses, give deeper feedback where it counts, speed through the rest. It helps you grade smarter, not just faster.
Being a teacher is the only job where you gotta find time to do your job while doing your job. And if you caught doing your job while not doing your job, then you might lose your job because your job is about 40 different jobs and you don't have time to do all of those jobs at your job.
This line says everything. Teaching is the only job where you have to find time to do your job while doing your job. That's a reality. Too many roles, not enough time. Tools like CoGrader exist to take one of those roles, grading, and make it manageable. Not perfect, but better.
Why do professors wait until the end of the semester to post your grades or to grade anything at all? Professors do this all the time, and I know it drives students nuts. First of all, grading is arguably one of the worst things about being a professor. If you don't have a TA, like I don't have a TA, my university doesn't do TAs, you are grading every single thing. And if you're giving assignments that are meaningfully challenging, that take a lot of time to read through and actually give meaningful feedback and meaningful grades, it takes forever. It is such a time suck. And so some professors say, I got a lot going on right now. I do not have time to grade. I'm going to deal with that when I can deal with it. And then it just gets pushed off week after week after week after week until, surprise, it's the end of the semester and they have graded almost nothing. So then they have this frenzy of grading, and they're really miserable and they're working long hours and they're working on the weekend and it sucks. And then finally, surprise, you have all your grades uploaded. I think this is a crappy way to do it because it gives you as a student kind of no opportunity to know how you're doing, to course correct if things aren't going so well. You can make the same mistake on assignment after assignment after assignment because you don't realize it's a mistake because you haven't gotten any feedback. So yes, if you are like a future college professor, I would not recommend doing it that way. It's really just because professors are human and sometimes struggle with time management, just like everybody else.
One of the biggest problems with grading is when students get feedback too late to actually use it. If grades show up at the end of the semester, what's the point? Students can't improve. They can't adjust. They can't course correct. At that point, grading becomes documentation, not learning. Let's look at some of the comments. Might be an unpopular opinion, but if students have deadlines, professors need to have deadlines for grading. I had a professor who procrastinated so much, I actually never got grades for whole projects that I had in class presentations attached to them. I bug professors. I'm never waiting weeks for a grade. I need to monitor how I'm doing and what I need to work on to improve.
Can we talk about how English teachers literally grade based off of how much they like you? The other day, I asked for a 1-day extension, literally 1 day, and I was actually sick and dying. Tell me why they said no. The girl who sits next to me in class, she got a 5-day extension just because she wasn't feeling it. You could literally make the most award-winning essay, and if your teacher doesn't like you, max you're getting a 75. If your English teacher does like you, you can expect extra credit, more time on assignments, and better grades. You could literally put together the most mid essay and you're getting at least an 85. There is literally only 2 methods to passing English now. The first one is just to glaze your teacher. Not even kidding, just glaze them. And if they still don't like you, you're gonna have to do the second method. The second method is to be literally the most studious student you can possibly be. Because if your English teacher doesn't like you, you're cooked otherwise.
This is how a lot of students genuinely feel, and whether it's fully true or not, perception matters. If students believe grades depend on personality instead of performance, they stop trusting the system. That's a problem. This is why clear rubrics and structured feedback matter so much. With tools like CoGrader, expectations are clearer, feedback is tied to criteria, grading becomes more transparent and consistent. So students can actually see why they got the grades they got, not just assume it was personal. Let's take a look at some of the comments. This is why we work hard and glaze guys. Nah bro, someone needs to explain this to me. You can't Google homework assignments, but in math you can plug it into a calculator and it's fine. Can confirm because last year I had an English teacher who liked me, and even if I got questions wrong on an assignment, she said if she liked you, she would give you some extra points and I would get 100% on every assignment, but this year I get bad grades on all my essays now that I have a new teacher, even when I meet all the requirements. She hates me so much I don't even know what I did. Grading isn't going away, but the way we do it, that has to change. Between burnout, AI and workload, something has to give. Tools like CoGrader are one step in that direction. If you want to check it out, I'll leave a link below. And I'm curious, do you think grading needs to change or just how we do it?